So, I kind of wanted to start with an update of sorts on what's going on with my world and my anxiety so I could kind of warn people, I guess, about what they would be getting into with being around me or talking to me, things like that. Um, I am reasonably sure at least part of the most of the people that know me are well aware that I have problems with both depression and anxiety. And yes, before somebody points it out, these have been medically diagnosed. I am not self diagnosed, so before somebody starts with that nonsense. Um, and for a while there, I was in therapy and I was getting help, and as much as things weren't okay, I was, dealing with things and getting along with the world and, kind of trying to figure things out. But after I left to go on the road to work Ren fairs with my mum and, kind of enjoy myself on the road, find what I was doing with life, I stopped being able to go to therapy, so they couldn't. There were no more meds to keep it regulated. Well, that sounds really bad. I they couldn't prescribe me anything to keep it under check or anything like that, whatever it was going through. Um, I finally ran out quite a while back, actually. Like, God, months ago. Um, but I ran out and I was doing okay for a while there. And then I was doing pretty cruddy. And I think that was a little bit of withdrawal. But then I was doing, you know, reasonable, functioning, sort of. And as of a couple months, I a month or three ago, I've been spiraling back into having a whole hex of a lot of problems with it and dealing with everything that comes with that and trying to be a functioning human being and not go back into panic mode. Like, I had a couple problems, here and there before then, but it just kind of started happening more frequently. Things have started getting more and more frustrating, more and more to and it's not okay. I'm not okay. I have come to that realization and I have stopped being in denial about that. I'm not okay and I'm well aware of it. Um but I enjoy my work on the road. I love not having a mundane job, which is what I consider like things outside of the Ren Fair or the SCA, and I can post a link in the description if anybody needs a starter, pointer on, hey, this is the SCA kind of thing, if anybody doesn't know. Um, but I don't like the idea of having a mundane job because I don't deal with mundane people very well. I don't socialize at all very well. It was pointed out to me that social anxiety is part of the anxiety that I have. And as much as I was in denial about it for the longest time, I kind of have to come to terms with that. And I've gotten a lot better about it working with the fair and all that. But it feels different to me than being in the mundane world. And I wish I could show people through my eyes what the world looks like. Just how many people I am absolutely horrified at look like they're staring at me, or at least can't help but make random judgmental glances because I don't dress like I do to draw attention. I've never dressed like I did for attention. I dress like this because I'm comfortable. And while I love freaking people out, I like doing that with my brain, not my looks. I love confusing people that don't put any effort into the thoughts of what they're saying. But I don't like being stared at. That is literally one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to socialization is is staring. And it seems to happen more and more as I'm falling apart, it feels like. And I feel like I keep getting myself in these fantastically cruddy situations that I'm creating on my own terms, and then my brain comes up with all sorts of names to call me and all sorts of things to convince me that I am. If you can think of a swear word, curse word, whatever name in the book, I've probably mentally called myself that at one point and believed it. And then I've stopped traveling for a while because I've been kind of, stationary at the house I grew up in, and I started gaining weight because of it because I haven't really been that active, and I'm not used to it. Like, yeah, I grew up a chubby kid, so I mean, there's that, but I'm not used to the pudge in the places that I've got pudge. And while I'm trying to adapt, that doesn't stop me from freaking out about the things that I freak out. Which kind of makes the anxiety and such worse, because it brings a new thing into the light for that to push and go, hey, pay attention to me. Or this, and that. And that, don't forget that. Oh, and there's that thing from Thursday. So, putting all of that on top of family drama and going back to being me and stuck in the place that I was in for so long, feeling like a caged bird, basically. And it's all kind of compressing, and pieces are just kind of falling as it compresses, and I'm horridly afraid that all that pressure is going to build and just explode. And it's not going to be pretty. I don't really know what I want to do about it, but just to tell you, whoever is watching this, whoever actually takes the however many minutes to watch this, because I'm already at, 9 minutes? My heart. It affects pretty much all of my systems at this point. Both the anxiety and the depression. It was made very commonly known several years ago by the medical field that depression affects both your joints, like your muscles, and, well, it affects your body in some very major ways. You sleep a lot more, you're lethargic, you don't have the motivation to do anything, really. And when you do, you constantly feel like you're screwing it up and you don't know quite where to go with it because you get so overwhelmed. And that's where the anxiety comes in. Is that gets to everything that the depression does and has both an opposite and same effect all at once. It is literally almost a living hell, I would say. And I hate telling people about it because I know everybody else is dealing with stuff, and that's part of the anxiety, and I know it is. I'm so afraid that other people... I'm afraid to talk to anyone about it because I know everyone else is dealing with their own stuff and has their own drama and whatnot to deal with, like my own family. I'm terrified to talk to anyone because I'm so scared that they're just gonna dismiss it because they've got stuff going on too, and it's not right of me to be so selfish. And then the anxiety takes over, and my heart, my brain, my nerves become absolutely fried. My heart doesn't stay stable for hours on end. I literally start crying for no reason. I had a mood swing on the way to an event that we were supposed to be enjoying and supposed to be our vacation that was one of the worst that I can remember and most swiftly acting. I was literally singing along to my music. I was perfectly fine. You know, the whole yada da 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 da, and enjoying myself, and all of a sudden I just... tears. All I could do was hug my pillow and cry because we were on the road, and I was certainly not going to ask my dad to pull over and sit for a minute like I should have because we needed to get there on time, but all he could do was try to pat me on the head and comfort me. That's about what he could do to comfort me, and there was nothing he could do, and I kind of feel bad because that probably left him pretty helpless there. But things like that have been my reality for several months. Just middle of nowhere. I just went to watch Suicide Squad a couple hours ago, or maybe a couple hours ago. Middle of the movie, no reason. My heart flips its crud, and that's going nuts. My breathing freaks out, like I can't breathe well enough. I can feel the intake of air, but it doesn't feel like I'm actually breathing. And for those of you that don't know what that feels like, it feels like somebody's got this terror grip on both your heart and your lungs, and you just want them to stop. And they just keep squeezing harder, and you just keep asking nicely, please, just want one breath. And you can take the biggest breath you want, but you're still not gonna feel it. And it's still not gonna help. The panic growing in your brain. There's no reason to panic, but you still feel like it's like you're on fire and there's a mob coming to get you and a tsunami coming after you all at once, but nobody else sees it. And it's not actually there. It's just the feeling. The instinctual panic that's programmed into the human brain times 10. And it's absolutely a horrifying feeling, especially when you're supposed to be enjoying yourself and you just don't know what to do. I was just kind of sitting here earlier, and no reason, tears. I wasn't, upset crying. I just kind of started crying, and I'm sure that was some sort of, overload of the tear ducts or whatever, but I just kind of had to sit still for a minute to register what the hell was going on with my body and what I could do to not freak out and think that I was about to, heavens no, explode or something. And it's really kind of wearing thin on me. And like I've said a couple times, I'm terrified to talk to anyone about it because you all have your own things. And as far as my brain is concerned, I've created my own chaos and I will writhe in it as I need. What was the saying? What doesn't kill me makes me stronger? Yeah, I don't like that saying right now. I don't. Just letting you guys know, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do about it, but be patient with me. I'm trying. I really am. I may be trying your patience as well, but I'm trying to fix it. And I'm trying to be a whole, functional, adult being, person, thing. I'm sorry to those of you that actually took the time out of your life to actually watch this, but at least you know how to deal with me now. Well, partially. Just be calm. Don't stare at me. Don't really... Don't ignore me, but don't stare at me. There's a happy balance there, I promise. There is a happy balance. And that's what I need at that point. Is that. Whatever it is. Just be there. You don't even have to say anything. I promise I'll come out of it eventually. It'll just take me a little bit. And I may not be the same person for a couple hours, or maybe even a couple days, depending on what it is. Just be aware that that is a thing for me right now, and it's not anything I can help. I'm not pretending. I'm not trying to get attention. I hate attention. I don't like it. I don't like being stared at, being the center of attention. That is literally no. Just no. I don't do these things to be a horrible person. It's not under my control. My body is not under my control anymore. And the after effects of it are painful. And not just to me. They hurt other people's feelings, I'm assuming. I don't know. Wears down on other people having to deal with me, I'm assuming. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I mean, it's not really something I try to keep up with, because I mean, it's not really my business. But I promise I'm listening. If I do this when you're talking, I'm just a little distracted. I'm still there. I'm just not all there. Then again, I never really have been. So, you guys have a fantastic evening or morning or whatever it is when you're watching this. And I'll talk to you later. Birdie out.